I'm Kathleen Levitt, President and CEO of the Spanish Fork Area Chamber of Commerce. We are joining you today from a ribbon cutting from one of our newest businesses opening here in town, Marriage and Family Clinic. They're right over by the Parks and Recreation building in Larson CPA's building, right downstairs. So I have with me today Bryce and Peyton. They are the founders and owners of the business, the therapists here. So tell us a little bit about the foundation of Marriage and Family Clinic, why you guys started.
Yeah, so one big thing is we love helping people. Counseling, therapy, we got into this to try to help people. And a big part of our mission is we want to become a pillar for mental health here in the Spanish Fork community.
Super.
We want to get involved as much as we can to help really move forward the cause of mental health and bring more awareness to that.
Yeah, sure. How did you guys get into counseling? Have you been doing it a while or?
Yeah, so myself, I'll let Bryson answer for him, but I've been in doing counseling for about 3 years now.
Okay.
A big part of it is just a passion for helping people.
That's awesome. That's really cool. How about you?
I've been counseling for about 2 years.
Okay.
And it's kind of a long story how I got into it, which I'll kind of spare you, but counseling really kind of changed my life. And
Yeah.
I thought, there's no more meaningful work to me than helping other people kind of get out of their tough spots and move forward and start to thrive in their life.
Sure, that sounds great. Well, I have had counseling myself, and I used to think that, I didn't need counseling, and I've come to believe that everyone needs therapy. So we're very needed, very, very needed, and we're super happy to have you. So tell us a little bit about what's different about Marriage and Family Clinic from, say, anywhere else. What do they get here that they might not get elsewhere?
Sure. I think some of our specialties are a little bit different than a lot of other places. I primarily specialize in the intersection of spirituality and religiosity and LGBTQ issues.
Okay.
We live in a primarily religious community, especially here in the Valley.
Yeah.
I guess there are a lot of people that kind of run into this intersection, whether it's members of their family or members themselves or friends or whatever that is. And typically religiosity has historically been something that is kind of a sore spot for a lot of people in the LGBTQ community and vice versa, right?
Right.
And so we find, at least I find that there's lots of counselors and therapists that help people kind of move towards one or the other. And I like to kind of preserve both parts and honor the whole self.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So what would someone who would be eligible for religiosity or LGBTQ therapy? Like what is your demographic or what kind of person fits that category for that need?
Sure. It can be really, anybody. But like to work with parents of LGBTQ kids just because a lot of times they are not sure what to do or, how do I navigate this with my child? It's kind of an uncomfortable area.
That makes sense.
In addition to navigating that kind of spiritual or religious journey with LGBTQ people themselves, can I maintain my spirituality? Can I maintain my religiosity? And maybe that doesn't mean particularly leaving or staying in their religion of origin, but maybe that means moving towards a different direction so that they can honor their whole self. It looks different for everybody. So really anybody that wants kind of help around it and navigating that tricky space where, especially in our culture today, it's such a polarized subject for most people.
So what makes you, certified or equipped to counsel in this area?
Sure. Well, I am a member of both of those communities. I'm a member of the LDS Church and have been my entire life.
Awesome.
And also a gay person.
Nice.
And so, and that's been a long and kind of arduous journey for me, and hopefully helping people maybe cut down the time and pain that it takes to kind of get to where they want to be is my goal. Obviously, you can't cut down on all of it, and I think some of that is essential for growth. But it helps to have a direction.
Yeah.
And I don't just see LDS people. I respect people of all kind of different faith backgrounds or lack of faith backgrounds. If we don't only deal with faith transitions, but if you've found yourself outside of a faith belief, that's okay too. There's lots of things to talk about.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that beautiful testimony. That was wonderful. So then, how about you, Peyton? How do you fit into the Marriage and Family Clinic? What are your specialties?
Yeah, so I specialize in working with couples and families, in particular couples who are experiencing like frequent arguing and fighting, something I call roommate syndrome, where you're just kind of grown apart. You're living more like roommates than partners. And so I try to help bring that romance back for couples.
That's great.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful journey, and I think something that sets us apart from other therapists around town is we don't seek to be your therapist for the next 10 years. That's not our goal. We want to get you equipped with the skills and tools that you need as quick as we can to get you moving on and doing things on your own.
That's super awesome. So I guess I'll ask you the same question. Like, what makes you qualified to do what you do with the marriage and family therapy?
Yeah, I guess first thing that comes to mind is education, right? I spent time and money going to school.
Sure.
And that degree, although just a piece of paper, does mean something too. And then, my own life experience. I'm married and have kids and understand the dynamics and have lived the difficulties of relationships, and I think that helps too.
That's wonderful. So one of the, we talked about one of the barriers of coming, which is, the judgment, but then there's also the fear of, my partner will not participate, or, my parents don't even want to come. I would like therapy, in that department, but how do I get my parents here? How do we bridge those kinds of barriers? How do you guys operate with that?
Yeah, a couple things come to mind. One is like getting just one person here. If you come and you have a good experience, which we hope to provide, you can take that back and share a little bit with your family, with your partner, with whoever. Say, here's kind of how it goes, and this is what I learned, and it starts to pique their interest a little bit. We also can take a more active role. If it would be helpful for us to reach out and extend a personal invitation to somebody, we can do that. I think our personalities, our demeanor kind of help too. We do try to provide a welcoming, warm space, judgment-free, where, again, kind of hitting on the results focus. Like, I think some people are nervous because they have this image of therapy of just sitting and laying down and sharing everything that you've ever thought of while your therapist is just writing notes and say, tell me how that feels, right? But we get more into it. We want to equip people with knowledge and tools to help them get back out on their own.
We have a variety of kind of theoretical orientations like CBT. I particularly like acceptance commitment therapy, which we call ACT. But yeah, there's quite a few different theoretical orientations that we use.
That's super cool. So what is the typical duration of treatment? Like, how many sessions do you see approximately, or does it vary?
Yeah, it definitely varies. It's hard to give a hard number depending on the circumstance and what you're coming in with. I know for me and the couples that I see, oftentimes if communication issues is the main reason that couples are coming in, usually 8 to 10 sessions is the time length for couples to feel like they've gotten the knowledge and skills that they need.
Sure.
For individuals who have problems with depression, anxiety, trauma, grief, it may be longer than that to address some of those problems.
Yeah.
Kind of the bigger the trauma and the bigger the problem, typically the longer it takes to kind of switch that over, right? And get that deep and help you kind of heal from that trauma. And so I'd say for my work, particularly more with individuals, it varies quite a bit, but I've seen people be done in 4 sessions. So and people that have come to me for a year. And so it really just depends. And we talk about that consistently throughout treatment is, how is this feeling? Is this working for you? If this is something that's benefiting you, let's keep doing it. If it's not, then let's go ahead and move on.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to hit you with a hardball question. With your guys' background in therapy, what's one piece of advice that you would offer to someone? If you could just tell them one thing, one piece of advice, what would that be?
Good question. I think that my advice would be never be afraid to try something that could be good for you, and that no decision is ever permanent. And so if it doesn't work out, you can always try something else.
I like that. Nothing's ever permanent. That's
Yes.
cool.
We're on a similar wavelength there. Like that, my thought was dare to rock the boat, particularly in relationships. You have no right to be angry about not getting what you never asked for.
Ooh.
You got to ask for things. So
Really,
dare
yeah.
dare to stand up.
I love that. I love that. Great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time with me today. You guys have a beautiful clinic. It's very comfortable. So I'm excited for you guys to be here in Spanish Fork. We also want to thank Costco for providing us the delicious chocolate cake. If you guys haven't got a slice, you should grab one out there. And I'm Kathleen Levitt, joining you from the Spanish Fork Area Chamber of Commerce with Marriage and Family Clinic.